But anyways, let's move on now to the Boston Celtics and whether they are better without Isaiah Thomas. Obviously starting the season 0-2, but losing to two good teams in Cleveland and Milwaukee, and now winners of 10 straight. What's been going right for the Boston Celtics out there, Dave?
Honestly, it's unselfish play and defense. I mean, they've lost a lot of guys, even during the season, before the season, doesn't matter. It's just next man up, and there's a lot of younger guys who are stepping up.
And you also look at Kyrie Irving, their big acquisition. I mean, obviously they lost Gordon Hayward, they brought him in, but Kyrie Irving was that big fish out there, and he has not only been great offensively, scoring 22.5 points over that 10-game stretch, he's also averaging 2 steals a game. He's really stepped up his defense out there.
Yeah.
What has Kyrie meant to this team, at least what you have seen on the court?
It's almost weird because I didn't expect him to come in as a leader of the team this early on. But he really is cementing a play style and effort level and kind of setting the bar for other players, which has been fantastic because it's beyond my expectations. And I think, honestly, it came to a shock to a lot of people. But with him setting the bar so high, you see other guys want to play up to his level. And when he's not on the court, doesn't drop off because you have defensive leaders like Marcus Smart out there, who he is probably one of the longest tenured Celtics at this point.
Yeah, I think probably the longest.
And he's killing it for him. And it's just... Because Isaiah was gone, they needed a leader. Kyrie stepped in. There was a question, well, is he really going to be a leader because of, LeBron was always the guy? Not even a question anymore. 10 games in season, I've written it off, not worried.
And do you think this has been something that, he kind of picked up during the offseason of being a leader? Because obviously he was alone to start his career in Cleveland, had to be a leader of that team. It was a terrible team, but still had to be a leader in ways. He was a leader in Duke when he was a freshman there. Do you think that experience is still carried over? And do you think he was somewhat of a leader on the Cavs, or do you think it's more of a different feel now that he is with Boston?
I think it's very much a different feel because now it's what he says goes. And I think, honestly, his career up to this point has built him to be the way he is. He got to learn under LeBron James. And I don't want to be like LeBron was like, his sensei, and he's like, no, this is exactly how you do this. LeBron's not perfect. He
Kyrie is not the way he is because of LeBron, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that he's helped him get to where he is now.
Yeah, but I'm not saying like everything that Kyrie is because of LeBron.
No.
Like LeBron's obviously helped. I'm not saying that LeBron hasn't helped Kyrie at all. But this has been in Kyrie.
This is a lot of Kyrie. I think he learned some do's and don'ts from LeBron and the way the team and the locker room reacted to some public statements, some not so public statements. So I feel like the way he's gotten this team to regroup and honestly, they are following him. They follow his lead, and he brings a different level of intensity to their team.
And looking at Kyrie, and obviously just going a little bit away from him because he's been fantastic out there.
Yeah, I mean you can't really fault him.
He's been distributing the ball out there. He's been scoring. I mean, there was a play yesterday where he just went interweaved between like 5, pretty much probably all 5
the entire
Lakers
team,
and then just slid by Brook and tossed one off the glass. He's been fantastic out there, and obviously he was worth those draft picks and worth moving Jay Crowder over along with Zizek and Isaiah Thomas. But at least looking at the Celtics, do you think that they're better this year compared to last year without Isaiah Thomas? Because that's the big question that we're asking this
It's hard to say this early in the season because the big question is, the regular season games, well, they don't count for a ton. They definitely set the benchmark for the team. Will this team have a higher win-loss than last year? I honestly think regular season, yeah. And that's bizarre to me to say. The question is, when the playoffs happen, will they be resilient enough to take it to a series? And we've got a long way to go to find out. But for the now, this is a better team. This is a more balanced team. And this is a team that we're going to get to watch grow, which is even more impressive because the level of youth that is actually hitting the court and playing it's crazy because you've seen coaches over the past who are maybe a little against putting rookies in, or even second-year players. They'll work their way in.
It'll be that way. I mean,
yeah, we've seen Stan Van the same way. And it's just... This is Brad Stevens being like, no, these are our guys. We trust them. We know when to put them in games. We know when to put them in the right situations. And it's paid off for them across the board. Yeah,
I got to give a huge shout out to, the Boston Celtics organization because, I was crapping on Danny Ainge for not making a move, that he was always waiting for the right move to make. And I'll give him all the credit in the world for going out and getting Kyrie Irving and also, moving back to get his guy in Jason Tatum. When they said that, I thought it was complete bullshit.
Oh, yeah. It was
I remember calling him out in the podcast, being like, no, you weren't. Like, this is not a move that you wanted to make. You thought Markelle Fultz was the best player. Markelle Fultz went in, and Markelle Fultz would have came in and filled that Isaiah Thomas role, especially when he left down in the future. You didn't want, Jason Tatum. You thought it was a good move for you. There's a reason why I'm not a GM.
Oh yeah,
and a huge
I mean,
credit
hindsight 2020. This has been phenomenal,
Yeah.
and I think
it's not really Jason Tatum exactly, but I think it's Jason Tatum's fit in Boston is the thing.
Exactly, he's ahead of the curve. It's a league that is going towards a bunch of oversized wings, and I think I heard it from like ESPN or something the other night, and it was the Warriors have the most guys who are like above 6'5". Basically,
it's the Bucks.
Yeah. It was like the Warriors
okay.
are 1, the Bucks are like 3, and the Celtics actually had a very good, strong number of wings. And that's the thing is, you're going to a positionless NBA. You have players like Jaylen Brown, who last year at this time looked like he barely, deserved to be on the court, and the amount of growth that he had throughout the year, and then in the playoffs, and now this year, like. He's legit.
He's playing 32 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaylen Brown's been great out there. And one thing, obviously he hasn't really found the everything yet. He's still pretty raw as a scorer.
I mean,
still
kids
athletic.
under 22.
No, but I'm just saying, but the thing is, he doesn't look lost out there.
Right.
He's not perfect out there. It's not like
his handles have improved a million times.
If he wasn't on this Boston Celtics team, I don't think we'd be talking as high as we are right now of him. But it's the way that I think Danny Ainge has built this team, and then also how Brad Stevens has coached this team. And when you look at it from top to bottom, I said Boston Celtics probably have the best organization besides the Golden State Warriors, at least with building and structure and the way that they've brought everything together. And the only reason why I put Boston underneath Golden State is because Golden State has had the results right now.
They got the rings.
I mean, the Celtics, they're trying to build that dynasty. You see all the picks, you see everything that they've accumulated, all these assets. I mean, obviously, right now the Golden State Warriors look unbeatable, at least down the road with Steph, Clay, Draymond, and Durant. But you look at Boston, and they have really primed themselves to be the contender in the East, at least in a few years. And looking at Boston, and this is the question I'm going to ask you, do you think that they have enough to do it this year to get it done, to overcome the Bucks, to overcome the Cavs, to overcome the Raptors, and get to the finals?
And everybody else, yeah.
Or do you think that this is just,
No,
right now
this is not fool's gold. This is not fool's gold. This is you should buy in on this team.
Even with the injuries, because I mean, even though Jason Tatum, he was down, he's fine.
Yeah,
he was
and
negative.
Horford, this is a less severe concussion than last year, which caused him to miss a lot of time.
Hayward,
obviously tragic injury, but
banged up. So I mean, are you a little worried about that, or you think they're going to be fine?
I mean, I'm worried, yes, but I think in the long run, throughout the season, it's not going to be a problem. Like I said, I'm a little concerned for the series in the playoffs. Like once you get to go in a 7-game series, you find every weakness about a team. You game plan for them. You learn things in and out night after night, and you can shut things down. And that's where it comes to how well can their depth step up. Because we've seen Terry Rozier has played really well to start this year. Marcus Smart, again, excellent job this year. It's just nothing but good because they've been playing so well. The big question for me is they didn't really get a solution to their biggest problem last year, which was getting boards.
Yep.
And that's where they're going to get dominated. And we've seen with the emergence from the Raptors of Valanciunas, gain more playing time and taking over being dominated against the boards. The big concern is matchup-wise. If they go up against a team like the Raptors, I think that could be a problem for them. But if they go up against a team like the Cavaliers even, who don't have a dominant big, you got Fat K Love out there, but we don't know if that's going to show up every night for them.
But then you also got LeBron James. You don't want to toss out LeBron James. He's good for seven rebounds every night.
Yeah, but the great thing is so is Jay Tace, so is Jaylen Brown.
But the one thing I want to mention about Boston is obviously the defense. We mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
Right now they're the best defensive team in the league.
Yeah.
And you bring up rebounds. I completely agree with you because you at least look at the single players on those teams, and I don't see a great rebounder on there.
Right.
But the whole thing about the Boston Celtics is they are a team, and right now they're 5th in the league in reboundings, and they have a +5 differential when it comes to rebounds. So they're been able to dominate the boards so far. If they're able to keep up, I think that success is real. However, if they're not able to keep it up, and we see the playoffs and we see that rebounding number go down, and obviously the points are going to go up, what they're letting up, but still defensively, this team looks stacked. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to keep the pace that they're currently going on. I mean, you look at the past couple wins, I think out of 4 of the 10 have been only single digits. The other ones have been double-digit blowouts.
Yeah.
So I think obviously once we get away from the regular season, I think that the flaws, at least rebounding, will show. But right now, I think a huge part of why they're winning is because they've been able to dominate the boards and they've been able to win the boards. So I think I agree with you that it's not anything that is unwarranted. I don't think this is fool's gold like you said. But I think there are holes in the armor where they could get through, and obviously down the road, if injuries persist or if no one steps up as a big rebounder, this is what can really
that's my question for you. What can they do for the rest of this regular season to make you feel better going into the playoffs?
I think obviously stay healthy is one thing, and that's probably the only thing that I would say, because the talent's there. I mean, you're not going to get Gordon Hayward back, and looking at the talent currently out there, Al Horford has been great. Kyrie Irving's been great. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum have been great. They can obviously improve, but they're still young and they will improve. And then you still look at Marcus Smart. He's back there. He's a stalwart on defense. Yeah. And you mentioned Terry Rozier. He's been good. So I think really as long as they stay healthy, I think they'll be fine. It's just really once they get to the playoffs, will this leadership continue? Who's going to be that leader? And then will the Gordon Hayward injury be that big of a kick in the ass? Because when you're going up against Cleveland, having Gordon Hayward is going to give you that extra edge. Going up against Milwaukee, having Gordon Hayward will give you that extra edge. But if you're looking at least the landscape in the East, would you put Boston at 1 right now?
Yeah, it's hard to go away from Boston. It's the hottest team in the league for a reason, and it's not fluky. That's the scary thing. It's not one of these 1-point wins. Shit just goes in. Well,
they're not the Magic.
No.
Because right now the Magic are losing to the Bulls. We make a whole video about them, and now they make us look stupid. And this is why you don't trust the Orlando Magic and Nikola Vucevic. But anyways, let us know what you think about the Celtics down below. Dave and I don't think that this is anything, I don't know any words today. Unflappable. Is that a word?
Unflappable. I'll take unflappable.
I don't think there's anything that's unflappable. I don't think there's anything.
They will not be flapped.
This is not a mirage for the Boston Celtics. I think this is a team, obviously, coming into a.
I don't think they're never going to lose again, but I think this is.
Yeah. They're not going to be going 72 wins, but at least looking at the Celtics, I think this is something that is for sure. We talked about it early on in the season, but getting this kind of results early is very shocking for the Celtics. I don't think they're better with Isaiah Thomas. I just think that you have Brad Stevens still. I think that was the reason. That was the magic with the whole Boston Celtics. But let us know what you think down in the comments below.